Oh hey, Jeremy here from Long Speed Marine. Well, I've been put on light duty today by the boss, so I'm going to be doing a bit of tidying up finally around here, make this place a little bit more livable, and then I want your opinion on this project here, and I'm going to talk to you about some neat stuff with the Mercury. So tag along because I want you to give me your comments on this. Some cheap hooks from Amazon, and so I've got my funnel holder here with a bucket underneath. I mean, this space behind the vise is usually dead space anyway, so that bucket will be good so they can drip down into that. So that should be good to hold my funnels, because you know, it's one of those things, you're always looking for a funnel, you don't know where they are, but now I got a spot for them. My glove holder, I just bent this one up, so this is nice and easy to pull gloves out, because let's all be real, we should always wear those more than we do. And I got a spot now for my spray guns and all my Milwaukee stuff. There is, you know, hopefully some more room here if I need to expand this, but that's working out pretty good. So a little tip. Keep a yoke around for the flavor of transmission that you like to play with. I've got a Turbo 400, that's a Turbo 350, but will also work in 4L60, stuff like that. And same thing with this one. If you're pulling trannies out or pulling motors out, this is so much more convenient just to slam one of these in. Obviously this one is, you know, it's junk. You're not going to use it because it's all messed up where the seal is. So I just keep it around just for this situation. Slam that in there, and then the tranny's not going to leak when you go to pick it up. I've kind of got my electrical stuff cleaned up a little bit out here. I've got my wire there and my connectors. Now this is something that I need to sort out better. I need to get like a package like this or something for all my wire stuff, connectors and whatnot, because these are great connectors, and I like to use, I've started to like to use actually, these non-insulated connectors, and there's the butt ones. So I've started to use these non-insulated, and because you're always putting shrink tube on it anyway, so that just makes a better connector. So I've got to get a better way to sort those out, and all my cable holders and stuff, because I've got a ton more of these. Whenever they go on sale, I buy a bunch of them, and being that I'm at the beginning of a lot of builds, I know I'm going to need them. All right, I want to show you something that's neat here that's actually from the marine industry. They're from Mercury or Quicksilver. There's the part number. And what they are is a zip tie that you use for fuel lines. So in the marine industry, we use these on fuel lines instead of clamps because nothing is really high pressure. If it is, then we use obviously a high pressure clamp or a different style clamp. But what it does is it holds down, and these teeth here that are on the back side allow that there's no gap. There's no gap when you tighten this thing down on a hose real tight. So if I pinch this over, a normal zip tie would have a gap right there, which could cause a fuel leak. But these ones here, basically they hold it down tight and there's no gap in there. So anyway, something a little bit different, but could help you out in power sports, automotive, whatever. So I always keep a bunch of these around just in case. So there it is. Okay, so I've got this area tidied up. I can finally get back to working on some projects. Both benches are tidied off and stuff's organized a bit. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the progress. Now, on to this. I am trying to decide, once I get the front cab mounts in and done, it's going to be obviously on to mounting the motor. My original thought was, for simplicity, cost, and just because I have it, was to put 350 Chevy and Turbo 400 into this thing. I've got a cam and lifters for the 350 Chevy. I've got a really neat intake manifold to go on it, which I think will be pretty cool, hopefully if it works. But I've also got that 6-liter LS, and I'm kind of torn. And what I'm torn about is, will it be enough power, the 350, to pull this thing around with a car on the back? I've seen a lot of car haulers and a lot of guys that have small block Chevys in them. I mean, these things came with small block Chevys when they were dump trucks, whatever, right? They came with 327s and 350s. So I assume that it should be good enough, but I don't know. I've got that 6-liter LS. It seems like everybody's doing a 6 or a LS these days, and so I'm just curious what your thoughts are on this truck. Comment down below, let me know, 350 or 6-liter. The 6-liter needs cam bearings, so obviously I would do a full tear down and cam bearings, clean stuff up, freshen it up inside. I've looked in all the bores, I've pulled the heads off, looked in all the bores. It still has the cross hatching in the bores, which is amazing. So it's just the cam bearings, I believe. And you know, I'll do a rebuild on that and show you how to do that, obviously, and put that in here. I would put it in front of the Turbo 400 transmission, because I have it and I don't have a 4L80, and also for the strength of the Turbo 400. So let me know your thoughts on that, on what you're thinking there. Okay, so on to the Mercury. For a long time I was struggling with what to do with the computer. I am putting a 4.8 LS in this for drivability, and you know, cruising and not really so much fuel economy, but drivability and reliability. So 4.8, nothing special, nothing crazy, 4L60E, and it came out of a truck that was 150-ish thousand kilometers, because we're in kilometers up here, and I'll put what that means in miles. So I was struggling with what to do for computer-wise on it and how to program it. The computer that was on that, if you pull the body control module from the vehicle that an LS is coming out of, it will remove the VATs. It will run and recognize, so you have to run it for, I think, 5 or 10 minutes, something like that, to get it to say, hey, the body control module is messed up, okay, but we want to keep running. You know, you had the original key in there, the chip key. It will recognize it and it will just bypass that on its own. It's a fail-safe that it has. So the body control module was pulled on it, and the motor and computer should run as it is. So I was struggling with, do I thin out the harness that was there, or I've seen on Amazon standalone wiring harnesses. So that's what I've got here. I will put the part number below of the one that I got. but this is a standalone harness. Yes, obviously it's offshore. Everything's offshore. I mean, even your Holley stuff is made offshore. It was really cheap, so I've been watching these for a while and saw that there were some that were really affordable. This one here was 250 bucks. Like, that's really cheap for this harness. The quality looks pretty good. They don't often have them in stock all the time. But like I said, I was watching this one and it came in stock, so I ordered it. It's drive-by-wire, which is what the setup that I have is. So it's got your green and blue plugs for drive-by-wire. It's got the plug for drive-by-wire, all your under dash stuff, harnesses for gauges, even cruise control. So if you want to run cruise control on the thing, and the instructions are pretty decent. It at least gives you the thing that I really like, which is most usable for me. It gives you a lot of what the color codes are, and some of the diagrams of hooking up some switches and stuff. So that's what I'm going to run in this car. So this car is going to be a really, really simple LS build. It should just be plug and play for me on that. And that's the next step actually on this car, is I'm going to get the motor put back into it and mount that. I don't like the mounts that I originally made, so I'm going to remake some new mounts for this, get my rads sitting in there, and maybe get this car running, because we all love to hear stuff run. So that's what's going on around here. Again, comment on the C50, what you think about the motor in that truck. I'm really interested to hear what people's thoughts are these days. Are we missing out that we're not putting 350s and stuff in small block Chevys? Do you still want to see people do that? Obviously, I would do a full video on tearing it down and doing a quick, cheap rebuild on that. But let me know. Do you want to see another LS done? Do you want to see how I would do an LS? I really appreciate all of you subscribing to my channel. We're still over that 500 subscriber mark, which is amazing. We've got a long way to go to get to 1,000. So again, tell all your friends, like my videos, comment down below. Let me know. I like hearing from you folks. Good or bad, don't be nasty, but good or bad. I like to hear from you about your, constructive criticism is always good, and I appreciate it. So thanks very much for tagging along on this one. Hopefully I'll get better and get back to wrenching on some stuff soon, and you'll see it here on my channel. Thanks very much, and take care.